welcome to Nerd Goblin Art. I'm Lula. It is Froggy FriYAY, or should I say Froggy FriYAY? So, what am I up to? Well, it's a terrible shot, and I do apologise for being so wibbly and wobbly. I have used my Bamboo Lab 3D filament printer, and I have printed up some Froggos this week. And I've also got these toadstools that I got in a discount shop, and they were half price because I guess the end of Christmas and such. So the Froggos have been filed down because they had some bits on them from where the filament and the supports. So I filed them down and I've brought them outside, and I am currently, as you can see, spraying them to within an inch of their lives with black spray paint. Right. If you haven't guessed, I'm making a Froggo diorama. So I've got a wooden slice. These wooden slices, they're available all over the place. I say all over the place, internet, craft places, such as that. This particular one is from Hobbycraft here in the UK. I always get them when they're on offer. Primarily, they're usually around £2 on offer when they do go on offer. I'm using burnt umber heavy body paint just to give myself a base underneath to hide the lighter colour. You can use anything for a diorama base, in all honesty. You could use foam, card, you can build them up. I was going for a simpler option. So I'm using some Mod Podge, and I'm being generous with it as well. So it's had its covering. Of course, this Mod Podge, it also dries clear. Reason for this is we're going to be using my grass thingy-majiggy. The name has escaped me, but I will put it on the screen. That is grass that you can get. You can get them online. I got this particular one in Firestorm Games. It's like a Warhammer 40k games place or whatnot. And it's basically static grass. Oh, Applicator. Oh my goodness, my brain. So the glue is on there, and it's like an electric thingamabob. I can't explain the science of it, but don't go touching the metal on it because you'll get an electric shock. So it allows that. Yes, you can sprinkle it on, but that's more fun, isn't it? So these guys have been sprayed. I'm not worried about the underneath. I've got Cad Red, Mars Black, Red Medium, and I've also got a luminous red there for later on. And while I fiddle about trying to get the lid off, because my lid is broken on that particular golden paint and I don't have any spares, I must get some. I have heard that they are very, very good, and if you email and such, they will send you spares. I just haven't got around to it, and I've had the paint forever as well. So there we go. I am using the acrylic paint as I just showed you. This is just a tile that I use when I'm painting miniatures. I do have a wet palette, but in general I only use my wet palette when I'm doing bigger painting objects, like actually doing paintings on canvases and such. I have mixed together some Cad Red and Mars Black to make this brick type colour. I like to start with my darker colours with acrylics and work my way up. That is the correct way to use acrylics, and to do so in layers. So I'm going to be building this up, starting with a darker tone, and obviously I sprayed them black to begin with anyway, but that's only going to help with the colours and giving them a lovely pop at the end. So this is what I'm doing. I am building them up. I will go from using the black and the red, and I will just use the red, the Cad Red. Then once that layer is dry, I will move to the Cad Red Medium, which is, it brings us a lighter, and then we'll build out to the Holbein, which is it gives a lovely shine. So I'm going to play you some music just while I'm doing this bit. I'm not showing you drying in between, but they are there are going to be edits where I dry in between, so I'm not doing much of wet on wet paint today.
It's Froggy Friday, time to hop. With green and blue we never stop. Red and yellow join the fun. Ribbit, ribbit, everyone. Frogs in hats and frogs with shades, leaping high in neon parades. From lily pads to city lights, party frogs and flashing nights. Jump, jump, it's Froggy Friday. Splash and dance in our own way. Colors bright and spirits high. Frogs are partying under the sky. Glow sticks and funky tunes. Frogs go wild beneath the moons. Purple spots on orange skin. The Frog Fest about to begin. Fireflies like a froggy stage, as dance moves break free from the cage. Croaking loud and croaking clear. Froggy Friday filled with cheer. Jump, jump, it's Froggy Friday. Splash and dance in our own way. Colors bright and spirits high. Frogs are partying under the sky.
So as you can see, the colour's getting lighter. As the paint is drying, acrylic paints always dry darker. So as we're building up, we're bringing the lighter colours forward as we do the layers. And if you can see as well, I'm moving my brush off to the side occasionally, and that's just me. I've got my dilapidated old kitchen roll there that I use to brush off any excess, and that's what I'm doing. And essentially I am dry brushing. The brush has very little to no water on it. So I've moved down a size of brush and I'm going into the cad red medium. This isn't a full cad, so this isn't a full cadmium, but it does give me, on top of the actual cadmium red, it gives me a really nice colour pop. And now I want this scene, if you imagine that there's light coming from, like almost like there's a bit of a light coming from above, whether it's sunlight, whether it's a moon or such. So that's just where I want my more of a colour pop on top. We'll be tackling the stems of them as well in a little while. So once again, I'm just building up the colour pop, and I will be introducing the Holbein, which actually does give a glow under UV light, which is really cool and fun. So there we go. I'm going to play you some more music so I'm not whittling and whittling on.
Frog hop fiesta all night long.
'cause tune rises high in the air. No one's got a single care. Fly snacks as a midnight treat. In this swamp we feel the beat. Echoes ring from shore to shore. From tonight we ask for more. Fly snacks as a midnight treat. In the swamp we feel the beat. Echoes ring from shore to shore. From tonight we ask for more. Frog happy yourself all night long. Leaping left to a favorite song. On to life with Jubilee. Dance to dawn, feeling free. Feeling free. Feeling free. Feeling free.
Takes a little while, doesn't it, doing this? But it's worth it. It really is, if you ever pick these kind of things up to enjoy doing. So I've switched over to using some Holbein. Now this isn't always affordable. Holbein is a more expensive paint, and I gotta be fair, I use it sparingly because of how expensive it is. Well, it is in the UK anyway, and it's not the easiest to get hold of. But saying that, you can get hold of the luminous paints that are by Senlier, and they're in pouches, and they are available online from Amazon, and you can also get them in places like Hobbycraft in the UK. You can get them in all sorts of places in other countries. Jackson's Art is another place you can get the pouches from, and you know, to be perfectly honest with you, they're cheap as chips where paint is concerned. And although they are classed as a student grade, these paints are fantastic, and I use them a lot mixed in with the heavy bodies when I'm painting all sorts. And they do give you may have to give 1 or 2 coats more, and that's fine. That's cool. So there are ways and means if you do want to, do the same kind of similar effects. But I do recommend the Senlier pouches. So I've switched to using some black, and I've added some titanium white there. And this is just to do the stems. I'm not incredibly precious about the stems and detail on them because they are the stems. And if it was a painting, yes, absolutely, I would be taking more care with them, but they are part of a diorama. So they're in a darker spot. So I'm painting the underneath of the mushrooms black, and then I'm just gonna dry brush. Well, I kind of wet painted in some grey, and then after they're dry, I will dry brush more of the white onto the stems, but I'm not worrying too much about them. I don't know if it's me being lazy, very probably, but you get the idea, and you get the thing. I'm just trying to pull off the blue tack. I thought I'd need blue tack more, and I'd be using things to hold them onto, but I didn't end up doing that because I realised that it was best to do all of it in sections, like do all the caps of the mushrooms first, then do the bit and all that. So not too much mess either. So these are nice, quick and easy really in comparison to the caps of the mushrooms. But I think you'll agree they look really good. I love the colour pop of the reds on top of these mushroom caps. I want them to look whimsical. I want it to look magical. Obviously the frogs, you've seen the frogs, they're not realistic, and I'm not going for anything realistic whatsoever. I'm going for fun, whimsical, and just great, cutesy, cartoony. So yeah, there we go.
Mixing colors in the morning light, alligators green and frogs so bright, cats with tails that curl so tight, resin dreams are taking flight. Pour the magic, watch it flow, rainbow hues that start to glow. Shapes emerge, it's quite the show. In this resin world we grow. Alligators snapping, frogs that leap, cats that purr in colors deep. Resin dreams are ours to keep, in the land where colors sleep. Hands are messy, hearts are clean, pouring life into the scene. Vivid visions, rich and keen, crafting worlds that feel serene. Resin flows like streams of light, making moments feel just right. Every pour a brand new sight, turning darkness into bright. Frogs are hopping, twirling around, alligators on the ground. Cats in colors so profound, in this resin world we're bound. Hands are messy, hearts are clean, cats that purr in colors deep. Resin dreams are ours to keep, in the land where colors sleep. Hands are messy, hearts are clean, pouring life into the scene. Vivid visions, rich and keen, crafting worlds that feel serene. Hands are messy, hearts are clean, pouring life into the scene. Vivid visions, rich and keen, crafting worlds that feel serene. Resin flows like streams of light, making moments feel just right. Every pour a brand new sight, turning darkness into bright. Frogs are hopping, twirling around, alligators on the ground. Cats in colors so profound, in this resin world we're bound. In this resin world we're bound.
So we're working on the frogs now. So I've got out burnt sienna, phthalo green and cadmium yellow. And to start off, I'm using the cadmium... No, I'm not. I'm telling fibs. To start off, I'm using the burnt sienna and phthalo green. So this is my darker, basically my first coat from obviously it being black. You can see the very, very light. You can see a very light tint of green there on top of the black. But just like the mushrooms, I'm going to be building on that. So just going in between, using the brown with the green. You know, for this it's burnt sienna, but I'll call it brown. And obviously phthalo green, which I'll simply just call green. Just because it's easier to say. I more or less, I want to use the black to my advantage that's on the base. Because obviously he's going to have a little bit of shading and stuff. So I'm more or less dry brushing everything on. My paintbrush is, I've barely tipped it into any water at all, and if I have had to clean the brush between, I've really given it a good dry with a cloth just to ensure that it's not too wet. And when I'm dipping my paintbrush into the paint, I'm going off to the side with the paper towel as well, the kitchen towel, and brushing a lot of it off and getting it all over my fingers. So it's just a case of building up. So we're going to go into the yellow, which is cadmium yellow, and the green, just to start building up a lighter tone. Now, it does take me a few moments to basically find the groove, so to speak, with the first frog. It's not something I've painted before. I've painted frogs on canvas and stuff, but I've never painted a frog in a 3D form like this. So it was just a case of finding my way a little bit. And you will see me going between the phthalo green and the yellow, and then going back again and adding in the brown until I'm happy with the tones. And that's quite normal, you know. If you ever do anything like this, you will find, you know, eventually you will start doing things like that. So I wanted to make sure that I'm doing colour around the sides of the head as well. He's not 2D, he's 3D, and I don't want to just paint the front of him. So I want to have the colours, you know, all around. So that's the great thing about having it, is not to be afraid to move it, turn it upside down, put it to the side, you know, use what you need to. And again, I'm just going to be building up highlights, and I will be bringing out my Holbein fluorescent green as well, because it really does give a lovely end colour. But again, it is possible to do with your student grade, which I do recommend. It's the only one I can recommend because it's the only other sort I've ever used, which is the Sanier. But again, you just need to do a few more coats as opposed to only having to do one with the more heavy bodies. Right, I'm going to play some music again. I think you've noticed that my voice is a little bit sexy. I'm joking. I'm still getting over a Christmas cold, so I am going to rest my voice for 5 while you enjoy some painting.
I want to go outside today. Too many people in my way. I'd rather stay and hide away with a story that I can't put away. Paint the walls with shades of blue. Found myself in colors true. Sketch a wall, just me and you, where every page feels brand new. Inside my mind I'll stay so warm, where life can't bring the heavy storm. Read the tales that never fully form in the daylight's busy swarm. Pillows stacked up like a fort. Escaping life is my last resort. Silent whispers, my own court. Listening to thoughts, sword and sword. Let the world spin on without me. Here in my cocoon I feel free. Dancing shadows from the trees. Solitude my sweetest peace. Inside my mind I'll stay so warm, where life can't bring a heavy storm. Read the tales that never fall form in the daylight's busy swarm. Stacked up like a fort. Escaping life is my last resort. Silent whispers, my own court. Listening to thoughts, sword and sword.
we all doing? We hanging in there? Thank you so much if you're still hanging around. I really do appreciate it. And I've talked about it before, how painting really did save my mental health. And that song really means a lot, because I am not kidding by being a bit of a goblin, a bit of a nerd goblin. I would much rather stay indoors and not talk to people and hide away, but painting really is my release. It really does relax me and make me very, very happy. And I hope that you enjoy watching this, and if you are ever, feeling low, feeling like you're struggling or anything like that, reach out to somebody who can help you. There's organisations, even if it's just a friend, and just say, hey, I'm struggling. You need your support network around you, and painting is what helped me. So, thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for the comments, the likes, to my members as well. It really, really is helping. It helps my channel, anything that I get through coffees, any such as that, it just all goes straight back into the channel, being able to get materials and do what I love doing, and I really am enjoying the ride so far, so thank you. So, mushy bit over. We are building up these froggos, and they're looking quite good. I do need, and if you can see, I'm going back into the darker tones here, making sure that I'm happy as I can be. Not worrying about the eyes, we're going to do those next. I figured that it was best and easiest to get these tones on the frogs first, and then we'll concentrate on the eyes. And the eyes are always the vessel to your soul, so good fun. I am going into the more of the lighter tone now, and that is simply by adding more of the cadmium yellow to the phthalo green. And we want the lighter spots along his nose, the ridge of his nose, on top of the I'm assuming they're like eye sockets, aren't they? And down his arms and on his knees. So you can see I'm very I'm dancing the brush basically over that. I'm not pushing down hard. It's just basically a little dance over these parts, and I'm using again my kitchen roll just to take any of the extra excess off, and that works really good. The frogs kind of remind me of, if you're familiar with Julia Donaldson books like The Gruffalo and, oh my goodness, my children are all older now, I can't really remember the stories, but the witch one, oh, I can't remember it, can't remember the name of it, but there's a frog in that, and the artist that works with the Julia Donaldson books, oh, I wish I could remember his name, Axel something perhaps. But yeah, these particular frogs do remind me of that kind of style.
She's a wizard in disguise, paints with colors so precise, mixes batter late at night, bakes a cake that's out of sight. Crazy alligators dance in her mind like a trance, dragons and frogs alive, from her hands they come alive. In her studio so weird, cuts out shapes with no fear. Magic flows from every brush, rocks and paper start to hush. Crested dragons on the floor, castles made from out the door. Frogs that leap from paint pots straight onto her tabletop. Nerd Goblin's playground is where wonders all come round. Cake with crazy alligators, dragons twisting on the ground. Frogs that sing in perfect tune, beauty crafted under moon. Waking dreams from slumber deep, spinning spells no one can keep. imagination runs free, shaping worlds we can't see. From the smallest little quirk to the grandest piece of work, Nerd Goblin's joy is pure. Every creation is the cure for a world that's gray and bland, filled with magic from her hand. She threads dreams into the day, turns the mundane into play. With a sprinkle here and there, transforms dullness into flair. Tiny monsters made of cake come to life with every shake of her magic mixing spoon. Revolution in a room. Nerd Goblin's playground is where wonders all come round. Cake with crazy alligators, dragons listen on the ground. Frogs that sing in perfect tune, beauty crafted under moon. Waking dreams from slumber deep, spinning spells no one can keep.
Green ones, red ones, jumping through the air. Purple, yellow, happen, hey, they're everywhere. Rivets echo laughter in the breeze, leaping like a circus floating on the trees. Tiny wizards casting spells on grasses. Through the morning mist they bounce in masses. Cloaks of colors in a rainbow hue. Magic in the garden, wonder in the dew. Frogs on parade, let's dance tonight. Hopping and a leaping in the moonlight. Flash of green, a purple gleam, a symphony of colors like a dream. Mystic croaks as daylight starts to fade. Stars above reflect their escapade. Orange blues they scatter on the lawn, underneath the starlit sky till dawn. Frogs on parade, let's dance tonight. Hopping and a leaping in the moonlight. Flash of green, a purple gleam, a symphony of colors like a dream. Frogs on parade, let's dance tonight. Hopping and a leaping in the moonlight. Flash of green, a purple gleam, a symphony of colors like a dream. Frogs on parade, let's dance tonight. Hopping and a leaping in the moonlight. Flash of green, a purple gleam, a symphony of colors like a dream. Frogs on parade, let's dance tonight. Hopping and a leaping in the moonlight. Flash of green, a purple gleam, a symphony of colors like a dream. The mystic croaks as daylight starts to fade. Stars above reflect their escapade. Orange blues they scatter on the lawn, underneath the starlit sky till dawn. Colors blend in harmony so rare, charming us with magic everywhere. Hops that make a heartbeat sing, colors lighting up everything.
We're moving on to the eyes now. So what I've done here is I'm mixing burnt sienna with the cadmium yellow. So as I have been from the start, I begin with the darker colour, and I'll be brushing these on, and they do dry in between, so I'm not painting wet on wet. Once I'm done with the particular layer, I have edited, it's dried, and I've then started again. So I start off with as I said, the burnt sienna and cadmium yellow, and when that layer dries then, I just basically get lighter until I'm happy. It gives you like when you look at eyes, they have they have a shadow, because of the way your eyebrow is, socket and such, so it just gives it more of a three-dimensional feel. I'm rubbish with words, this. So I'm just adding on as I go and just bringing it that little tone lighter until I'm only using the cadmium yellow on its own without any of the extra mix of paint in there. So that's had a dry, and I'm moving into the mixture I made, but it's more of the cadmium yellow now. So this is like the second coating for the eyes. I think it works really well too. You can look up frog's eyes, and they are different shapes. And I'm happy just for going for a simple round pupil, and just a bit of a light spot.
I'll hold the brush close in a world painted bright, magic in my strokes underneath the light. Canvas comes alive with every vibrant hue, stories in each line, shades of me and you. Colors of the soul in every piece we make. Art's our only goal with love we create. Dreams in red and gold, glimmer and ignite, beauty to behold in moon soft light. Every shade a tale, in frames of joy or blue, they tell our words fail, every tone rings true. Colors of the soul in every piece we make. Art's our only goal with love we create. In red and gold, glimmer and ignite, beauty to behold in moon soft light. Every shade a tale, in frames of joy or blue, they tell where words fail, every tone rings true. Colors of the soul in every piece we make. Art's our only goal with love we create.
So I've got my dotting tool and using the Mars Black. This is both ends of dotting tools have you will have a thicker end and the more narrow end. So for the actual pupils, I'm using the larger end of the dotting tool, and then I'll use the smaller end for the little white spots of the highlight. My paint's starting to dry up a bit there as well, as you can see, is started to get a little bit of a skin on top. That's the issue with using acrylic paints and not using like a wet palette as opposed to just a tile. To be honest, I didn't. It hasn't taken too long to paint, so a lot of the paint hasn't really been wasted, you know, and I'm putting paint on top of old stuff because I like using it as like a dry brush thing. So just using the smaller end, and I'm doing, you can't quite pick it up on the image here, but I'm doing 2 dots. I'm doing one just on the pupil and then one just off. Just slightly up to the corner. I will bring it a bit closer for you to see. You're really useful, these dotting tools. You can get them cheap as chips, really. You can, I think people use them for nail art and stuff like that. Here you are. I quite like that. I think his eyes look good. So this is all dry. And as I said, because it's the Mod Podge, it dried nice and clear. So I got an idea in my head where I want things to go. They won't stand up there because of the static grass. So I'm just placing where I want them to be. I've got my glue gun heating up to the side. And that is what I'm going to be using to attach these bits and pieces. I'm not sure if I should have done the static grass after gluing the pieces down. I wasn't sure if I should have just left space to position the bits down, but it seems to be okay. It's sticking down on there fine. It only takes a few moments as well. Much faster, isn't it, than using... I suppose you can use things like Gorilla, you know, the super glues and stuff, but this gets it done a lot quicker. Quite like the static grass thing. I think I've only used it like once or twice before. But you gotta be so careful with them. It's the one I have is like battery operated. But it can, if you accidentally touch the metal, it will give you a heck of a shock. So, you know, you need to be careful with that kind of thing. So these are little like flower tufts. They are specifically for model building and stuff. It's I found them on Amazon and I've used them for loads of projects. It just gives you that little extra little colour pop, which is really cool. And also, which is what I'm using these specifically for. They have got like glue dots on them when you peel them off the sheet they come on, but I am dabbing on a little bit from the glue gun. But what I'm using them for is to hide like the base of the glue gun. It leaves like the little residue if you know, if you're not careful, you know, where it dries, you get quite a bit of a whitish glue spot where the glue gun stuff dries. So this hides it really well. So it doesn't look well, you just can't see the glue, which I prefer not seeing. So I'm putting them in between, around, nice and simple. I think it gives a nice little extra something as well. I often buy the, you know, like little pieces of what looks like leaves. I think if you've been watching any of my videos, you'll see it on specifically like the ghost one, the ghost pet ones that I did. So that's really helpful as well. So I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of the frog's feet. I'm happy with those positions. And whilst that frog, before I glued the frog down, I just wanted to get an extra piece there. I'm just getting glue on there from my glue gun and popping him down. There we go. I keep seeing bits that I want to cover. Excuse me. You could do this all day, really. You could keep looking at bits, adding them on. Really lovely. So what do we think? How's that looking? Very whimsical. It's missing something though, it does need something. So these are, they're like little tiny jars, basically. I found them in a in one of those like discount shops. You get them in big packs. That is a paint. It's an acrylic paint. It's by Golden, and it is a glow in the dark paint. I wanted the frogs to be looking at something. You know, there's a big space there, and I thought, well, it wouldn't be cool if it was just, you know, maybe a wizard or a witch or something has dropped a little bottle of something on the floor. And, you know, that's what was in my head anyway. But it glows in the dark. And that's what the paint does. I possibly could have done the same with some UV resin. I don't have glow-in-the-dark UV resin. I would have had to have added some kind of pigment to it. So this seemed like a good idea. I thought I was being clever and I thought the pipette would work, but it did not. The paint's obviously too thick. So I end up grabbing the micro brush there and just scooping some in. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I couldn't think of anything else at the time. So just giving it a shake so that the bottle is, you know, mainly covered all around. I was aware that I didn't have to put loads and loads in. And just at the last minute as well, I decide that some glitter would be a good idea as well. I wish that I thought of that first of all, and I could have put that in before clogging up all this top with the paint. But it does get through. And another shake just to make sure that I'm happy with the coverage of the inside. It probably won't take very long to dry either. If I'd had the time, Mr. Goblin suggested this, and I kind of wish that I did consider it before putting it all down, was drilling a hole through the log to come up through and having one of these jars filled with fairy lights. But it did not happen. But it is a good idea for another make at some point, which I am going to consider for a future make. But more planning for that. So I'm just putting in some of the Diamond Frost glitter that I have. Reason being, it's one of those a handy top, so it's not too bad for getting it in there. It's not too messy for getting it in. This can have a charge up as well with a UV torch. It's still there we go, and I'm just gluing it down. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to show you it close up. Don't forget to stay for the glamour shots. See how he glows there? And because I used luminous paint on the mushrooms and the frogs as well, you do get a glow with all of that too, which I think is a really cool touch. I really like that. So that's going to have a good charge up. So check the pictures out at the end. Oh, I really like it. I wasn't sure, but I really, really do like it now. But yeah, so that's a little glow in the dark glass jar with a little bit of glitter. Thank you for watching. Love you and stay weird.
Colors and swirls. Nerd goblin art draws a magic worlds, with foxes that prance and badgers that dance. A whirlwind of dreams with a single glance. Gerald the alligator grins so wide. In enchanted waters he loves to hide. Dragons breathe wonder with flames so bright, each creature born from a magic night. Nerd Goblin paints life in every brush. Animals frolic in a vibrant rush. From canvases to tales they leap, in a realm where fantasy meets deep. The studio's alive with swirling paint, creatures so pure they need no saint. Sketches of foxes with tails of light, badgers with moonlit fur in flight. Gerald floats in a stream of dreams, dragons shimmer with a